What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're here for week 10 of Picks with Pete. I'm going to be honest. Last week couldn't have been a worse week. We went 3 and 10. Oh my god, we couldn't get anything right last week. I mean, I told you the Jets game, the Jets on Monday night. We all knew that I was going to get that game wrong. So hopefully y'all picked against that. But Jesus, Pittsburgh, oh my god, Washington, it was a disaster. Tampa Bay against New Orleans, just no shows. The only people that did hold up for me were my freaking Vikings. Shout out to the Vikings, one of my 3 covers last week. Good God, it was totally pathetic. I don't know what we're going to do. It's not great. We're now only up to 58 and 66 and 1 on the season. It's going to be a long fight back to breaking even. But I believe in us. This week we're going to do better. Really interesting week this week. We're going to have more late games than we do early games. And the lines this week are pretty similar. I hope we're going to get this thing figured out. But let's just dive into the early games here. We got Houston and Cleveland, Washington, Detroit, Philly and the Giants, the Jags and the Packers, and Tampa Bay and Carolina. I really like the Browns this week. Browns coming off a bye, playing Houston. Houston barely hung on against Jacksonville last weekend. And Nick Chubb's supposed to be back for the Browns. Should be a strong performance for Cleveland at home. Baker really needs to bounce back. Hopefully they got the offense figured out on the bye week. They got things taken care of. Tighten it up. Should be a solid pick at home this week. I'm not going to drop the line just yet, but I'm liking the Browns this week. I don't know about anybody else. I don't know if I can trust the Eagles, man. They're coming off a bye. The Giants aren't very good, but yeah, I don't know. The Eagles are so wishy-washy with how they play. Carson Wentz's decision-making is so terrible sometimes, and I don't know if they can fix that. It feels like he's a more wild Brett Favre and not as good as an arm. Carson Wentz is great. He carries a lot of garbage, but man, he makes some really bad decisions that kill his team. What else? Packers, Jags. This should be an easy pickup here for the Packers. You know, the Jags aren't very good. They have Lutton, the rookie, starting at quarterback with no Minshew. And, you know, they put up a good fight against Houston, but like I said, Houston doesn't have much going for it. Probably the worst run. Maybe not the worst run, but Houston's one of the worst run franchises in the NFL right now. They got nobody to help Deshaun Watson. The defense is mediocre as hell. And, yeah, it's just a shit show. Green Bay's coming off a Thursday night, 10 days off, kind of rolling, beat up on a bad San Francisco team. They're looking to keep pace in the NFC, trying to get that bye. They're at 6-2. They're currently in third, but they're tied with Seattle and New Orleans in the same record, so they're right there. I feel the same way about Tampa Bay. They need to bounce back. They laid a complete egg against the Saints on Sunday night, so they should be able to bounce back this week. I'm hoping Tom and them figure it out. Carolina's a tough out, though. They play really hard every week. I feel like Tampa Bay is kind of in a must-win situation and they're going to play well. But I could be totally wrong. Who knows? We're trying to get this thing back to the normal, trying to break even here. So maybe it's a little bit of a risky pick. But here are my afternoon picks right here. I got the Browns minus 3.5. I got Detroit minus 4.5 against football team. Again, Kyle Allen out for the year for Washington, so Detroit should win that game. Alex Smith, good story. I don't know what they're going to be able to do. I mean, they lost to the Giants last week. Not very good. I got the Eagles at the Giants. Eagles minus 3.5 right here. I trust them enough. Giants aren't good at all. I haven't seen anything from them. Eagles coming off a bye. They should win this game. But who knows in the NFL these days. Jags at the Packers. Easy cover for the Packers. Minus 13.5 here. I don't think there's going to be much of a competition whatsoever for the Packers. And then Tampa Bay at Carolina. I'm going with the Bucs. I think they bounce back. I'm hoping Tom Brady in the offense figures it out. Maybe they get Antonio Brown involved more. I don't like the way Bruce Arians is calling out Tom Brady for stuff when he's not necessarily right. Tom Brady's got 6 Super Bowl rings. Bruce, what do you got? Don't have a whole lot of nothing. So you probably should stop calling out Tom and worry about the rest of your offense. I don't think some of your receivers work that hard. You're a little loose out there, commit a lot of penalties. That needs to tighten up. That's not Tom Brady's way. So, yeah, but I like the Bucs to bounce back this week at minus 6. All right, let's roll into the late games. 6 late games, so more late games than early games. You don't see that almost ever in the NFL. So, pretty good slate of games. Chargers, Miami, very interesting. Chargers find new and heartbreaking ways to lose, which is kind of hilarious, and you feel awful for them every week. But Herbert and Tua, 2 young quarterbacks. Miami coming off a big win at Arizona. They've won 4 in a row now, so they're looking to keep place in the playoff hunt in the AFC. This is a very exciting game. I really like the Dolphins here. Their defense is elite. The offense is just good enough, and they have a good kicker. Kicker is kicking ass out there, banging 50-yarders left and right, Sanders. So, very untalked about team that needs to be talked about more. I think the Dolphins are a legit playoff team, and I kind of like them this week against Herbert and the Chargers. All right, Denver and Vegas. Vegas, another team, solid as can be. They just win football games. Just win, baby. The old Al Davis adage. John Gruden, the team, is getting dubs. In Denver, Drew Lock's kind of high and low. They don't do anything in the first 3 quarters and then dominate the fourth quarter. Let them come back against the Chargers. Didn't let them come back against the Falcons. So I don't know if I can trust them on a consistency level. And like I said, Vegas controls the line of scrimmage. They run the ball. Derek Carr's good on the play action. The defense isn't where it needs to be for this team to make a deep run, but they're definitely competitive every week. They've beaten the Chiefs. And yeah, I like the Raiders a lot. They're definitely a playoff team, I think. Another great game to watch. Buffalo at Arizona. Bills, huge bounce back win at home against the Seahawks. Feeling good. The offense is chugging again. Josh Allen kind of found a stroke again. Could throw the ball. Had a huge day for them. Arizona dropped a bad game to Miami at home. It was great competition. Kyler played great. Cliff Kingsbury, limiting factor for this team. Bad coaching decisions here. So yeah, kind of a must win for the Cardinals to keep pace in that NFC West in the NFC playoff hunt, because there's a lot of teams coming on strong, getting hot. You don't really want to drop 2 in a row this part of the season when you're trying to build momentum towards the late run to get into the home stretch of the season. Cincy and Pitt, another good game. Pittsburgh played terrible. They're undefeated, but they played terrible against the Cowboys. Escaped out of that one because it's the Cowboys. Cincinnati coming off a bye. Joe Burrows, I love to see what I get. I love what I see. I would love to see what I can get from Joe Burrows off of a bye, 2 weeks to focus on a great defense in Pittsburgh. No Joe Mixon again this week. That's probably a big hurt for them. But the Bengals are young and exciting, especially at quarterback. Should be a very interesting game to watch. Yeah. Next big game, probably the game everyone needs to watch, is Seattle and LA. LA Rams coming off a bye. Seattle lost going into Buffalo last week. And they need to keep pace in this division. This division's getting tight. Rams need this win to, move ahead of Arizona. It's a big opportunity for the Rams. Rams are leading the league in defense at home. They've only given up 12 points a game at home, and they're 3-0. This game is in LA, so tough task for the Seahawks the way that Rams defense is playing at home. But again, this Seattle's offense is elite. Russell Wilson is carving people up. They need to get Chris Carson back on the back end for Seattle to help run the ball and establish time of possession, because the defense is terrible. Jamal Adams and Carlos Dunlap do help for that pass rush, but man, they can't stop a nosebleed. They're on pace to break the NFL record for most passing yards given up by over 1,000 yards. That's not good. That's really, really bad. So I don't know if I can trust Seattle's defense this week. And like I said, the Rams are cruising at home on defense, and they're coming off a bye. Should be a fun game to watch. Huge playoff implications. Last one, San Fran at New Orleans. New Orleans is rolling. They're at home. Huge win against Tampa Bay. They're the one seed in the NFC. San Francisco's beat up as can be. Nick Mullins at quarterback this week again. Maybe they can get some things figured out. They had 10 days off, and maybe they can find a little bit of groove and throw the ball a little bit better. Maybe the running backs get a little bit healthier, but I just don't know, man. New Orleans has been pretty tough this year, surprisingly. And they got crybaby Michael Thomas back at receiver, and that seems to help the offense a little bit. But yeah, let's break down the picks here. So Denver and Vegas, I like the Raiders -4 right here. Miami and the Chargers, I like the Dolphins at -1.5. I'll take the Bills at +2.5 at Arizona. I really like that pick. Bills getting points. I think they're a really good football team. Bengals getting 7.5 at the Steelers. Coming off a bye, that's just too much. I'm not going to swallow the touchdown in the hook. I think this is a game the Steelers win, but they are due for a loss at 8-0, and they've been playing with fire the last couple of weeks, so they might get upset here. I like the Bengals a lot in this spot. Chargers, Rams, again, I told you I like the Rams. They play great defense coming off the bye. I don't trust Seattle's defense to be able to stop LA's offense and then be able to score enough against the Rams defense. That NFC West is wide open now with a win from the Rams right here. In the last game, San Fran against New Orleans. New Orleans covers easy, -9.5. San Fran's beat up. They're not in the same class as New Orleans. Easy cover. I don't expect them to have a letdown after that huge win against Tampa Bay, but I could be surprised. Sean Payton's been known to lay an egg here or there, so who knows? Let's go down to the Sunday night game now. All right, Sunday night game. This was supposed to be a great matchup. Coming in the season, you'd say, oh, great matchup. Baltimore and New England. New England got a moral victory with Cam against the Jets, coming from 10 points down with only 6 minutes left in the game to win the game in regulation. So feel good win on Monday night for the Patriots, but Now you got the big bad Ravens, who are kind of playing a lot better. They just beat the Colts last week after a strong second half performance, and the Colts just beat up on Tennessee yesterday on Thursday night. So pretty good win maybe for the Ravens. I expect the Ravens to cruise here. New England's defense is shot. Their offense isn't very good. Baltimore's defense is elite. They forced a turnover now in 22 straight games, and they've scored 10 plus points or 20 plus points on offense in 17 straight games. Easy game for the Ravens here. Ravens cover -7. I don't think it's much of a challenge. I think the Ravens win by 3-4 touchdowns. I just don't think New England's competitive. I know Bill Belichick's Mr. Coach, man, but they just can't compete on the level of Baltimore. Finally, the Monday night game, my Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears. Don't love this game. Chicago has lost 3 in a row. They've looked really bad on offense all 3 games. Nick Foles is not a starting quarterback. He's a relief quarterback. And Minnesota's won 2 big division games in a row. They're riding high on Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's had 160 and 210 yards rushing the last 2 weeks. He's just been an absolute unstoppable force. Chicago's got a great run defense, though. Don't have much of a pass defense. Don't have much of an offense. But that front four for Chicago is elite. They clog up the trenches. They can get to the quarterback. And Minnesota has won 3 times in Chicago since 2007. 3 times. Really bad for Minnesota. But the last time they've won in Chicago was on Monday Night Football. So maybe they got something cooking here. Don't think I can trust the Vikings in this spot. I'm going with the Bears +3. It's a game the Bears have to win. Minnesota might underperform. They always play terrible in Chicago. Chicago's been watering the grass all week, I heard, and it's going to be 30 degrees in a swamp. So, typical Chicago stuff. We're going to be slipping all over the field. I'm sure there'll be a kick blocked or some shit like that. It's always how it goes in Soldier Field against the Bears. It's always some nonsense for the Vikings, as you can tell. So I like the Bears +3 here. I'd be very surprised if the Vikings won this game, but who knows? Maybe my team could surprise me. I don't know. But that's our picks for this week. Hopefully we turn this thing around. Can't do much worse than 3-10. I say that and watch us do worse, but I think so. We should have a better week this week. Again, remember, if you like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next week.